Well, alrighty. Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest here, welcoming you back to another Before the Four. Of course, the live stream where I go through some of 48's top news stories, and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. I say it each and every day, wherever you're watching Before the Four this Monday afternoon, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or our 48 Now live stream. As always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your afternoon here. Now we're going to turn it over to Jada Russell. Jada, it is feeling amazing outside right now.
Absolutely. It is feeling wonderful, and a lot of folks are kind of feeling a little bit like spring, especially since we've had that day off. You can see these temperatures right about now in those upper end 60s, nice and comfortable, beautiful sunshine. So you really can't beat getting out to enjoy that just around the city today. So expectations are that we'll continue to see the last little bit of sunshine going into the evening. As we go into your later evening hours, though, we'll start to drop those temperatures off into the 50s. And by tomorrow morning, we're expecting to see some 40s out the door. Thankfully, not too chilly, but just enough to leave with a light jacket on as you head out the door, and you can layer up and remove them a little later because we're expecting more of those upper end 60s out of your Tuesday. So for the next few days, we're seeing some 70s in the forecast, but that's also coming with overcast skies and some showers on their way. So Wednesday, we're expecting to see a little drizzle for a moment or two throughout the day. 70s where we'll sit that day, and then 76 by Thursday. It's quite warm for this time of year, but we're expecting to see a few showers, and we'll start to see more scattered showers going into Friday and Saturday as well. Make sure you tune in tonight. Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis is in. He'll be able to give you a full look at your 10-day forecast, even including when we may get back to some 50s in the next week or so.
Yep, it certainly does not feel like February, that is for sure. And also, don't forget to tune in to 48 First Alert Weather Extra tonight at 9:30. You can watch it wherever you're watching Before the Four right now. So that's Facebook, that's YouTube, and of course, that is our 48 Now live stream. You're just not going to want to miss it. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis will be back here in the streaming center. He'll go through the radar, all the latest you can expect here across the Tennessee Valley. And feel free to leave a comment. Brad will see your comments and he will shout you out. So just not going to want to miss it. 48 First Alert Weather Extra. But now let's turn over to some of the day's top stories. And of course, turning over to a tragic story out of Giles County, Tennessee. Now, authorities are investigating after a fatal shooting took place along I-65 last night. Authorities say the shooting happened just before 11:30. They responded to the scene and say they found a crash in which someone had been shot dead by someone else in another vehicle. 26-year-old Stephenson Simonson was pronounced dead at the scene, and 23-year-old Elda Semius was also injured in the shooting. She was taken to an area hospital where she is in stable condition. Now, anyone with information on this incident is encouraged to call the Giles County Sheriff's Office. And now in Scottsboro, the Alabama High School Athletic Association has now reclassified Scottsboro High School athletics to Class 4A. Now this after filing an appeal after an administrative error placed them in Class 5A. Now Scottsboro originally reported that there were 11 more students at the school than there actually was. Initially, the association denied Scottsboro's appeal, but now they have officially reclassified them into 4A. And 48's Will Eldridge will have more details on this coming up in our evening newscasts. But now with that, we're going to take a short break, but coming up, a few stories in case you missed them. A former FBI agent in Huntsville weighing in on the search for Nancy Guthrie. A local church celebrating 206 years here in the Huntsville community, and 5 sets of twins in one school bus in the Shoals. We'll go through it all in 1 minute. Alrighty, break time over, everyone. Hello and welcome back to Before the Four. Now, a former FBI agent here in Huntsville is speaking out regarding the missing person case of Nancy Guthrie. He says the case should have been handled differently from the get-go. Faith Delp spoke with him and has more. Let's take a listen.
Now, I hate to be critical of any law enforcement agency, but clearly that agency didn't have a lot of experience in dealing with something of this significance, because I don't believe there was a real thorough workup on the front end of the crime scene.
Cecil Moses says the FBI is specifically trained to handle abductions and kidnappings. He says local police and sheriff's departments just don't have the same resources. From what he's seen, he believes before the case was given to the FBI, family and police had already contaminated the crime scene by going in and out of her home, which could cause DNA and other important evidence to be lost or tainted. The Pima County, Arizona Sheriff Chris Nanos says they are working very closely with the FBI to find Guthrie.
The FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department are joined at the hips. We have done this for not years, decades. We are going to work this case as a team with our partners. There is no egos. Nobody's the lead. It is find Nancy.
Moses says it's easy to critique these cases from afar, and there's always more going on behind the scenes that we might not see right now. But he told me he's concerned that the investigators are putting too much information out to the public. He's concerned that those details might actually help the suspects stay one step ahead of the people trying to catch them.
The thing that's bothered me about this case has been, I think, way too many law enforcement sources giving too much detail, basically critiquing the case for the bad guys. If you give too much, you educate the bad guys, you know.
And now St. Bartley's Baptist Church in Huntsville is marking off another milestone year this year, 206 years of faith and community. As Huntsville's oldest African-American congregation in Alabama, their story is rooted in the city's history. Faith Delp has more on how this historic church is celebrating Black History Month. Let's take a look.
Over 2 centuries of history rooted in one community means celebrating and remembering every Sunday, every month.
I will worship you.
Pastor James Mooney has led St. Bartley's for 9 years, and he says it's an honor to carry the weight and pride of the generations before him.
Well, when you think about slaves starting a church in a graveyard, what type of hope, what type of resilience, what type of heart did they have and passion for their community?
That question captures part of St. Bartley's legacy. A church born from unimaginable circumstances in 1820, this congregation has not just survived, but it has thrived. It was organized by Elder William Harris while African Americans were still enslaved. Back then, the church would gather at a graveyard that served as a burial ground for slaves. Later, after the Civil War, Elder Bartley Harris became the second pastor and where the church got its name. The church's impact has extended beyond Sunday services over the centuries. And Harris was famously known for massive baptisms, right in what's now known as Big Spring Park.
When you think about the big baptisms, over 3,000 people that Bartley Harris, who's a Huntsville legend, who's in many museums around town, that he baptized over 3,000 people where Big Spring Park now sits. It really speaks about God's hand on this community.
Those 3,000 were over the course of Harris's time as pastor, but he was known to perform as many as 300 in one day. Pastor Mooney says Bartley Harris exemplifies the 9 extraordinary leaders who have called St. Bartley's home. Mooney says they have always had something to celebrate over their 206 years, but especially this month as they reflect on where they've been and where they're going as a church body.
I just say it's more important than ever to continue to tell our story. If we don't know where we've been, we won't know where we're going.
St. Bartley's will celebrate their history and what's to come in their future Easter on Sunday, February 22nd. The celebration will feature children of the church sharing stories of African Americans past, present, and future, and reminding everyone why this church's 206-year journey matters. Reporting in Huntsville, Faith Delp 48 News on your side.
Love to see it. And now check this out. There are 5 sets of twins on one single school bus route in Lauderdale County. Their bus driver says it's truly something special. Aria Pons with this incredible story. Let's take a look.
Every day, Darren Ferris gets up and comes to work to drive children back and forth to school. He's done it for the last 3 years here in Lauderdale County and adores it.
Very much so. We all recognize the importance of what we do, because when they come on the bus, we don't know what's going on in their lives, and we can help or we can hurt, and we always try to help.
But Ferris's route isn't exactly like his other coworkers.
I was talking with the other bus drivers, and they were all looking at me like, "You have 5 sets of twins? Do you understand just how?" And it hit me. Yeah, that's pretty special.
Yes, 5 sets of twins, 3 of which are the same age, and 2 sets are very best friends. But Ferris had no idea until this year.
As I said, it came on kind of slow, and it crept up on me.
Ferris says that he started with 2, and then 2 more sets came along. This year, he realized that 2 of the boys he had been driving for a while were actually twins as well.
Having 5 of them on the same bus together is just kind of interesting.
It's like a rare thing. The twins feel the same way about the whole ordeal. They all wanted me to share, though, how much they love their bus driver.
Pretty chill, laid back.
Chill, relatable.
Yeah.
Yes, he's very nice. And when you're having a bad day, he really can brighten your day up. When you walk in the morning, he's always good morning and really makes you feel like the day will be a nice day.
Ferris says he's the best job, and this just makes it that much more unique. And get this, Ferris says that someone reached out to him to let him know that there were 3 more sets of twins along his bus route, but they're car drivers. Reporting in Rogersville, Aria Pons, 48 on your side.
Wow, a lot of twins out there, no doubt about it. Something's going on out there in Lauderdale County. But with that, let's go into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. Multiple gold watches stole from one antique store in Decatur. Callie Neese will have details on that situation coming up. The anniversary of a tornado tearing its way through Tuscumbia. Aria Pons will be following up on that. And finally, details on a shooting into a Huntsville Airbnb overnight. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And y'all, it is that time, 3:55. We have plenty of time for it. It is time for Facebook fun. Our 48 Facebook question today that we asked, what is your favorite restaurant in the Tennessee Valley? A lot of good ones, I know that, but let's see, what is your favorite? And let's see what you all had to say. Cahoots up there in Fayetteville, Tennessee. That is from Lucy Williams. I have not tried Cahoots yet, but I'll add that to the list for sure. Patsy said Big Spring Cafe. Of course, here in the Rocket City, fantastic folks and even better food. We got Boar Hogs Barbecue. That is from Stacy Haygood. Gotta love some good old Boar's Hogs. And that is some really good barbecue, not gonna lie. Mildred's. Who's all been up there to Mildred's in Ardmore? Awesome food. I love me some Southern cooking, a nice buffet there. Love Mildred's. Chuck Free said Julia's Grill Mexican restaurant in Hartselle is by far our favorite. I'll have to check it out, Chuck. Thanks for the recommendation there. Thomas Lane said G's Country Kitchen. Gotta love G's Country Kitchen. I actually have not tried that yet, but I'll add that one to the list as well. Y'all are giving me great ideas, by the way. Susan said Sergio's Mexican restaurant in Sheffield. Next time I'm out in Sheffield, I'll have to try some Sergio's. Susie Berryman, Rose Grill in Athens. All right, so you guys gave me some really good recommendations there. Not a whole lot of Sand Mountain comments, but I will shout one out. Lamone's out there. I want to say it's in Henniger. Really, really good burrito on that menu out there in Lamone's. I like 50 taters also. There's also Maters. I went to the one with my girlfriend in Albertville. A lot of really good ones here all across the Tennessee Valley, and we're not forgetting Tennessee as well up there in Fayetteville with Cahoots. Definitely adding these to the list, but y'all, that is just about all the time I have for today's Before the Four. Thank you all for sticking around, spending a bit of your Monday afternoon here. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your night. Enjoy our evening newscasts. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You all have a great night.